Hello, my name is Mikko from JOT Automation. Welcome to our Maximizing Productivity webinar. Today we are going to launch two new products, M5 Test Handler and G5 Final Tester. First we're going to have a look on this M5 Test Handler and Mika Puttonen, who is the product manager of the product. After these great product introductions, we are going to have a Q&A session.
For over 30 years, JOT testing and assembly solutions have transformed the way smart products are manufactured. Our clients not only need reliable, automated product testing, but also the ability to handle high mix and high volume production. Take a look at our new M5 Test Handler.
Here we have a JOT brand new M5 Test Handler, which is the new way to automate existing M test boxes. M test boxes can be used as a standalone, so basically you can place the box on the table. You can connect your test system into the box, or the box can be also include embedded test instrument like flashers, some signal switching, power supplies, etc. And because the box is independent unit, you can ramp up your test system without any test handler. Even when the production volume is rather low, you can use boxes and manually place the products into the test boxes. Then later on, when the production volume is getting higher, you can have inline handler and automate the handling. And you can start with M1 if this M5 is if the capacity that M5 is offering, if that is not needed at the moment. So M1 handler is more cost effective. It's taking one box in, but it's still inline system. And then later on, when your production volume is getting higher, you can have M5 in the same line together with M1 or replace M1 with M5. And then of course you can utilize M1 in some other purposes. If the production volume that you can get by placing maximum amount of the boxes in one M5 handler is not enough, then you can place handlers after each other, and by this way you can have more line output. So just like the name M5 stands, the machine can take up to 5 test boxes into it. The total amount of the test boxes that you can place inside M5 depends on the size of the box. So if the size is the 4U box, which is the smallest one at the moment, you can include 5 boxes in setup. But if that is bigger, for example 5U, then you can place 4 boxes into the setup. It's possible to have the setup where all the test boxes are doing the same test phase. For example, we can have functional testing or ICT testing, and there is 5 boxes doing ICT testing. Or it's possible to have two different test phases. So there is a functional testing and ICT testing in the same setup. Machine has integrated fail product separation option available. If this option is selected, the outfeed segment of the conveyor is equipped with the fail product pushers, and at the outfeed side we have fail magazine. Machine is equipped with the simple and clear touchscreen user interface. User interface has 3 different user levels. Normal machine operation doesn't require any password. But if you would like to change the product, for example, it will ask the password. When you create the new product, the user interface will ask you to enter some basic data. First, you will give the name to the product. Then you will give the values for that product. So top component height, let's put 10 millimeters. Bottom component height, which is this moving clearance, let's say 5 millimeters. Board thickness, 3, length 150, and width 100. And after that, you just save the product. Ergonomic is important when you need to change, for example, fixture to the test boxes. In this machine, all the boxes are at the ergonomic height. So the topmost box height from the factory floor is 1.7 meters, and you can easily access and do the fixture exchange. Also, the lowest box are at the height that is good and easy to operate. In case of maintenance, you may need to remove box from rack. For this purpose, we have box lifter. Push the lifter against the box. Pull the box from rack and then lock the box to lifter.
Next, we are going to look at the G5 final tester with product manager Risto Toljamo.
We built the G5 final tester to accommodate today's larger smart devices. It's modular and easily scalable, which provides greater testing flexibility and makes the G5 a more cost-effective solution. Plus, it has an innovative robotic tool changer for even faster performance.
This is our new G5 tester. It's the all-in-one tester, which means that you can test every device in this machine, and it's scalable in size and feature set, so we can design the tester feature based on the customer requirements. So G5 is easy to maintenance because you can remove this front cover, and then you have the access access very easily inside the tester. So here you can reach robot, you can reach active tools, you can reach finger tools, you can reach easily the PSP areas and also the CSP area, which is below to the PSP areas. And other place where we need to do the maintenance is the backside, where we had the control cabin. By removing this control cabin covers, you can easily access to the powers and robot controllers, etc. And also in the backside, in the lower part of this control cabin, we had this CSP part, where we can put those customer-specific parts. On the slide, we had the PSP, which is the product-specific part. Usually we design that based on customer requirements. It includes DUT nest, DUT locks, and different actuators, which can include like USB plug, audio plug, and SIM card plug, or depends what is needed. And the maximum size of the DUT is 250 by 350 millimeter. Maximum height of the DUT is 100 millimeter. At software side, we had easy to use control interface, and we provide to customer easy example with the Python and C# how to implement their test software inside the G5. System structures consist of the PSP area, which is now on the slide, which is the product-specific parts, which is usually designed based on customer requirements. It includes the DUT nest and locking system, and then we had a few actuators, which can be like a USB plug, SIM card tray, audio plug, and it depends the customer requirements. Box itself is the RF shielded. It has aluminum covers, and it gives 45 dB RF isolation up to 6 GHz. And for the optional, you can choose audio isolation. We can reach 30 dB from 200 Hz to 2 kHz and 40 dB above this 2 kHz. So for the box itself, you can choose a robot, and we had this Cartesian XYZ robot, and we had also in the robot we had this JOT made tool changers, which can be used for the many different active tools. Then we had the active tool magazines, which can carry totally 4 different active tools. Right now we had here audio tool, which has the microphone and speaker, and those can be used like acoustic audio testing. And then we had the light source tool. Light source tool has 2 different LED string, 6500 Kelvin and 3200 Kelvin. And you can use that light source to test cameras or airless sensors or proximity sensors, or giving light for the camera. And then we had the finger tool. In addition, for these active tools, we can design the different tools based on the customer requirements. We had totally place for this 5 different fingers. For those fingers, you can test touchscreen, you can test buttons, you can move actuators, what we had in the PSP. And then inside the box, at the below of the PSP, we have the place where we can put those CSP parts, what we get from the customer. As one option, we also provide this instrumentation rack. It can be used as a stand of the tester, and it can be used also store the instrumentation what is needed for the testing. And there is totally 12 units space available in this rack.
Hello, my name is Mikko. Welcome to our Maximizing Productivity webinar. Now you have seen our product introductions of M5 test handler and G5 final tester. Now it's time to go to questions and answers sessions. Here we have Risto and Mika.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Let's wait for we have the first question. Okay, this is for Mika. You are promoting the M5 test handler to fit well high mix and high volume production. Could you please explain in more detail what that really means?
Okay, let me try to open this a little bit. So what is the most important thing in the high mix production is normally the low setup times. So in M5 handler, we have a selection of 50 different products. So you can save the product parameters. What is the product width, length, component heights, etc. And then later on, when you have done this, you just simply select the product from the list. A machine will adjust itself to this product configuration.
Yes.
Okay, this is one part of the flexibility. The other part is that normally the fixture is the product specific part that you need to change. So the exchange time for this fixture is important. In M5 concept, it's done the front side. It's easy to access. It will take something like 1.5 minutes per box. Okay, that is if you like to have one fixture type in all the boxes, but it's also possible to have different fixture types. So if you have 5 boxes and 5 different fixture types, then you are just selecting the product from the list, and you are achieving the 0 setup time.
So you can scale up from the small tests setups to
exactly, and then this high volume part. You can have up to 5 boxes in one M5 handler. You can have these handlers in line after each other.
Yes.
Doing the same test phase, or then you can have you can have 2 different test phases in one handler.
Yeah.
So first one can have test phase 1 and test phase 2, the second one the same. Or you can do it in the way that first handler is doing test phase 1 and the second test phase 2.
Yeah.
So there is quite many different possibilities available.
And it's also possible to utilize independently these boxes as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then we have another question. This is for Risto. How does the G5 compare to G3?
Okay, so the size of the G5 is bigger, so you can handle much bigger products in the G5 than the G3. And a robot is about 3 times faster, and that means that you get the faster test time and you get the better throughput at the production. And G5 is modular and scalable, so customer can easily choose that what feature they want to have in the G5.
And can have like a box with all the functions, or just add on later on.
Yes, yes.
So it's also scalable and modularity that you don't have to buy everything at once.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Then we have a question of M5. The M5 seems to be a very interesting concept. Our production volumes are rather low now, but probably growing in the next few years. The M5 might be still too big investment for us. Is it possible to use M-test boxes with our existing 6-axis robot?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Actually, it was already mentioned that boxes are working as a standalone,
Yes.
so they have their own embedded controller,
Yeah.
and it's communicating with the host by Ethernet. So yes, it's possible to have the boxes and then use, for example, this 6-axis robot.
Yeah.
But yes, you mentioned that your volumes are rather low at this moment, but they are growing up. And actually, this is something that we were considering in the very beginning of the M-concept design. So, as mentioned, boxes can be used as a standalone.
Yes.
In the early R&D phase or the build phase, you can use boxes only and manually place the product to the box. You can develop your test system, ramp it up, and tune it during this time. When it's done, and you would like to go to the production mode, you can have M1 handler, for example, that is the kind of a little brother of M5.
Yes.
That is taking in one box, but it's still inline automated system. Later on, M5 can be added to the line, or it can be replaced by M1 can be replaced by M5, and the test system will stay the same. So you don't need to touch to that.
And can be with the M1 and M5 can be also together. In the
They
same
can
line.
be together. Yes, exactly.
Okay, thanks. Okay, then we have a for Risto that you are saying that G5 is modular, scalable, and flexible. What that does mean?
So basically, it means that the customer can choose the all features, so they can have the feature what they need. So they don't have to buy the full feature set what we have available in G5. Example, they can start with the RF shielded boxes and very easy PSP, and later on, if they need the robot, they can add the robot there, and they can add tool magazines. We have 2 different tool magazines available, active tools and finger tool magazines. And then they can choose different CSP, like cameras, robot tools, all different kind of instrumentation. And those, as I said, that those active robot tools, we have now available audio tool and light source tool, but we can design those based on the customer requirements. So.
Okay, M5 question. Okay, what kind of testing can you do with the M5?
Okay, the handler itself is not specifying the testing at all. This part is built inside the test boxes, and we have a selection of different type of test boxes. There is RF shielded test boxes, or the version where the bottom fixture is moving up, or then vice versa, top fixture is moving down. Also different height of the boxes. At the moment, the lowest, smallest one is 4U, and the bigger one is 5U. So depending of the size of the product, and every box is having the customized part inside. So it can be, for example, that the customer is doing the software downloading, and then we will integrate programmers inside the box. So this is defining the type of the test that we can do. But typically they are RF testing, software downloading, high voltage test, ICT test can be done, and functional test. And definitely in functional test, the range is quite wide. So it can be, for example, LED checking, testing, pure electrical measurements, side contacting, and for that we have, by the way, we have a quite good selection of the different type of test plugs that can be used.
All right, then we have a related G5, and there is a question. We have our own test software that we are using currently. Can we use the same software with G5, and how easy is it implemented?
Yeah, you can use your own software, and there is basically two different ways how to do it. So that you can use open source client implementation, or you can do you can create the own implementation based on HTTP API what we provide to customer. And either way, the integration is very easy for the G5. And G5 API is very easy and high level, and basically you just need the names and device names and actions, and G5 will take care of the rest of these things. And and we can, when there is customer cases coming, hopefully, so we can create quite simple, easy example how to implement those.
Yeah, how to make the connection. Okay, good. Okay, then there is a question for Mika. What is your proposal for fail unit handling?
Fail unit handling. Okay, yeah. There is actually quite good innovation done in that. There is a possibility to get M5 handler together with the integrated fail magazine buffer. This is including two magazines. So you have a exchange magazine, empty one, and then you have one in the handler. And if this option is selected, there is also fail unit pushers integrated to the outfeed conveyor of M5. So this is one way of doing this. This magazine can take up to 32 boards, depending of the component height, definitely, but yes, maximum 32 boards in it. Then alternatively, of course, it can be outside. So we can drive both good and pass and fail boards out from the same output, and then the separation happens afterwards. But typically this is more expensive because you need to have the own device for that, which is having its own frame, chassis, controller, etc. Now in M5 there is basically only mechanical frame, and the handler actuators and the moving elements which are already there are utilized for this purpose.
Okay, then we have a question for M5. Let's say I have a full set of test places integrated in M5. Isn't quite a big risk in case the handler breaks down?
Okay, yeah. Really good question. And I think that maybe first we need to go back to the design table. So how the design is done and what kind of components are selected, because this is one critical part. And in this machine we are using well-known industrial components. Also the things like design FMEA is done, and by this way we are placing the sensors, for example, in the critical places. This is one part. But then, of course, because to be realistic, everything can happen. So if the machine will break down, the boxes are still alive. because those are independent units. You can continue your testing by placing the products into the boxes manually.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. Is there something else you have in your mind at the moment for this one? We don't have questions at the moment over there. If not, Risto?
No, I think
No?
yeah.
Mika? No? Okay. So seems so that we don't have more questions coming out at the moment. So I will say, on our behalf, I will say thank you very much, and we will be having these organizing these webinars during this year more. Of course, we are willing to see you as well on live and sending the questions for us. And new products are coming in. If you have sending any feedback for us, please send it to LinkedIn or via email for us. And if you have any questions related now to M5 or G5, so please send us questions to sales@jotautomation.com. This time, I think we're going to say bye-bye and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.